Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to part 18 of the GTO Trainer. We start facing a open from the cutoff in the button with 8-3 offsuit standard fold. No real need to comment on that. Cutoff is probably second widest opening range, however 8-3 is virtually dog. Open from the low jack, so about middle position. Still very tight, but a little bit wider than you're under the gun. King 3 offsuit on the button. King 3 suited would be a call. Maybe even a... Hang on, if we have a look. Nah, King 3. Okay, my bad. So King 3 still isn't, so but your ace suited, you're in there. So King 5 is about what, 70-30. King 6, we put a little bit of calls in there. Pretty much all options on the table, but majority are fold. Then King 9, once again, all options on the table, but majority are raise. Let me make sure I close that one. Moving on to the next hand, once again, open from the low jack with the button with 5 deuce offsuit. Once again, snap fold. Like a 5-4 suited connectors would probably be calling there. Maybe even, yeah, so just calling. Oh no, yeah, so you see we do mix in a little bit of raises with some suited connectors as well at a very small frequency. And then, but majority just like call it a small frequency, balance out our button defend. Not really a button defend, sorry, but like a button calling range. And then utilize our position to kind of play those post-flop potential hands. Facing a open from under the gun +1, so very tight, strong range, and the small line of King Queen offsuit. Very strong hand, however, my thought process being small blind, we're going to be acting first. We've got the big blind behind us. We definitely don't want to be raising this hand, as we're just kind of going to isolate the under the gun range that we are dominated by, and then we're only really taking down 2 bigs, or 3 bigs. So I don't really see a raise here. Personally, I believe this is a fold. Yep, so good fold. So yeah, we're raising a little bit there, but the main thing here, so yeah, even ace-queen is a fold, Yes, ace-queen offsuit is a fold, ace-queen suited is a call. But the concept is, if we have a look over here at range, under the gun +1, so if we go here to... here we are. So yeah. If we go here, so range, very tight, strong range from under the gun, and King Queen offsuit just not playing very well against that range. One of those hands where when we hit, we're most likely going to end up making a lot of mistakes. We're most likely going to end up losing a big pot, bloating an unnecessarily big pot. Definitely why we don't want to be raising. Remember, out of position defense, in position offense. But then, like King Queen, we call here, we're kind of just bringing in the big blind. But then, like King Queen, just dominated by a lot of his range, can make us think as though we're, good if we hit like a king top pair. But then a lot of situations they'll have ace king. We end up losing a big pot there, thinking that we're raising for value, but we're just getting value owned in a lot of situations. And then just a lot of mistakes can be derived from these hands that look really good, seem like a premium, but just against the under the gun very tight opening range, just don't really play well against that range at all. Moving on to the next hand, so button open, we're in the big blind with 8 deuce offsuit. So we'll be looking to defend from the big blind here versus a very wide button open. Buttons obviously in position, just blinds to play behind, so very incentivized to open very wide, as we can have a look over here. So yeah, button extremely wide open, pretty much opening majority of hands just due to the high EV that they represent. As majority of the time both of the blinds will fold, and then also they have position on both of us. On both of the blinds, so they can easily take down the pot even with the worst hand in a lot of cases, utilize that position. Remember, in position, play a little bit more offense. And then we're looking to defend from the big blind. If we have a look over here, like mostly focusing on like your suited connectors, all little suited hands, Got a lot of implied odds there as well with these suited hands in comparison to a lot of your offsuit hands. But yeah, decently wide defending range from the big blind, mostly because the button's got such a wide opening range. If this was more versus under the gun, low jack, we're looking at more of a tighter defend from the big blind to counteract a very tight open. Okay, so under the gun +1 opens. We're in the hijack with pocket jacks. This is going to be a standard raise. Try to isolate the under the gun player. If we just kind of call here, we're most likely going to let in at least one person in position. So under the gun just flat, so they're capping off their range. So we know they don't have any top of range. So when they check in flow, we're going to go off a standard 1/3 pot. Then they fold. So they're saying we should be going an even smaller sizing, or even just checking this back, maybe to try to incentivize to give them rope. Perhaps, the thought process is when they're checking on an ace-high board, well, we know they don't have any strong aces, we know they don't have ace-king, we know they probably don't have ace-queen, or at least definitely not ace-queen suited. Maybe they have ace-queen offsuit here at some frequency. Actually, let's have a look here. So if we go here, so under the gun, they're even folding an ace-queen offsuit here. Not overly surprising. So hang on, if we're able to, so we're looking at pretty much just ace-queen off suited. They do have ace-king offsuit here at some frequency as well. That's surprising to me. I guess the thought process is they're going, you're kind of 3-betting a very strong range, so you will have to have a stronger range to kind of counteract that. So we can, flat with some ace-king offsuit, try to balance out our 3-bet calls. But I just don't, I guess the idea is try to, with the 2.9, so what's that? That's like a 1/7 sizing. Just seems a little bit low, kind of incentivize them to call with anything. I guess the idea is trying to keep in anything, like your low pocket pairs, lower pocket pairs. They either would most likely be just calling your 3-bet with, just flatting in a lot of situations, rather than any of their aces, pretty much. Aside from really, really weak ones that you could probably easily bluff off later, but try to get some streets of value before that. So I can understand it from that perspective. But I feel like if you're not betting these ace-high boards, you just kind of allow them just a little bit too much rope. But then I guess it's a very dry, static board. It's not going to change too much. So I guess the idea is you're kind of going, well, if the undergun's not stabbing here, we don't think they've really connected too much with this board, and then the only way to really get value from hands that don't connect is to try to give them rope, allow them to bluff, allow them to make mistakes, give them the rope to make those mistakes. Moving on to the next hand, so we got the button open in the small blind of 8-5 offsuit. I don't even think 8-5 suited would be a defend either. Really, really strong from the small blind here. Pretty much only playing a 3-bet or fold strategy. I guess the idea is that we got the button behind, playing out of position, so we just kind of want to isolate the button here, I'm guessing, is the kind of the idea with our 3-bets, which does make sense to me, because if we're calling, because then the big blind's basically getting, 20% pot odds? Lower, probably. So pretty easy call with pretty much all of range. So we got an open from the cutoff when the big blind was 7-5 offsuit. I believe 7-5 suited would probably be a defend. Let's have a look. So yeah, 7-5 suited, standard defend. Just the offsuit, the denial of equity there, or the lack of equity as a result, just makes it a snap fold. Facing a very strong under the gun +2 open on the button with 10-7 offsuit. I don't even think 10-7 suited would be calling that, just because of how strong it is. So pretty much only your suited connectors. Oh, we'd have a 5-3 suited here. That's interesting, but I can understand it, very little chance of getting out kicked. But evidently they have a 6-5 suited, balancing out their opening range. But yeah, very low chance of getting out kicked. Board cover hits the boards that they don't. and then the implied odds there can make up for any equity disparity, well, deficiency, sorry. So extremely tight under the gun, open when the hijack 9-7 offsuit, just a standard snap fold. So there's our 10 hands, 11 moves, 95% GTO score, with only one inaccuracy move being going for 1/3 sizing with pocket jacks on the ace high flop, rather than going for what they suggested in terms of about a 1/6, 1/7 sizing. I guess the idea is we're not really ranging them on any strong aces. So even if they have hit their ace, we want to try and get a little bit of value, then bluff them off later, I guess is the idea. And then additionally, just give them some rope that we can kind of bluff catch. Does still hit their king, queen, ace, queen offsuit. Or correction, ace, queen suited. But that's about it, really. But yeah, really good from us. Well, good today, but a lot of easy hands. Pretty much aside from that Jack's hand, maybe King Queen was a little bit of, that I can probably get a trip up a couple people. Pretty much all of the others was just offsuit garbage that you can easily, anyone with a brain can snap fold a lot of the time. Pretty plain sailing. Beauty, so I hope you guys learned something today. Enjoy the rest of your day and play well.